Fancy stuff. Don't you know it? I do. How you doing, probing time? You found Issa? I'm going to bring Issa up on stage. Where are we? It's so dark and lonely. Ooh. Why is the first time you're hearing this? Does this always happen with eclipses? Nope. We're going to talk about how it's not always happening with eclipses here in a moment. Hey, Max. I don't know if you're there, but your camera's off if you are. You get the occasional ones there in Australia. So you have the chauvinistic Australians that think it's all about Australia probing time. It's probing time. What's they doing? Anyways. Yeah, so we did a video about it. I think it was 2 weeks ago now, about one of these doomsday pastors who says 30 days after the April 8th solar eclipse is going to be a rapture and all you are doomed. These are the end times and Satan will rule. Anyways, something like that. I don't really pay attention too much because I'm not that concerned about Christian theology. Be interesting to get Christians on here. What I am concerned about is people being harmed because they take these claims seriously. And I apologize for being late. I'll wait until these guys are ready. Max can let himself on stage. I'll leave Issa up here until he's ready. You come across them with their box to stand on, shouting about, come to God or be doomed to eternal, what, I don't know, eternal salvation. Give everything you own to the church so we can save that one soul. Yeah. People will too. I know I think there was a May 21st, 2011, or was it 2011? I think it was 2011. I remember that one. David Camping, I think his name was, from Family Something Church, and they could do these Bible prophecy of the when the rapture was going to happen, and people would spend like $10,000 to rent like those signs on the side of the roads. To Harold Camping, thank you very much, Hayward Jeb Alomi. Harold Camping. See, my audience knows. And they would spend thousands of dollars, donate thousands of dollars to this dude. And then it didn't happen. Of course, it never happens. And then he continues to preach the same nonsense. But it's going to be later. He just had it wrong. And that May 21st wasn't even the first time he said it. I had a coworker who would bring these big, huge, long charts. And he was a believer. He donated all his money. He'd work all this overtime, donate all his money to this cause for the rapture that was going to happen. A true believer. He was a smart guy too. Like, I'm a technician, like did technical work. He was in the Navy. I think it was a nuke. I don't know. He wasn't a stupid guy. A little slow. Like, I mean, paced himself. Oh, it's so annoying. Anyways, doesn't matter. And one day I go in there and he's like, you just believe in evolution, and started crying, like tears coming down his eyes and all this stuff. And I'm like, why is it okay for you to believe what you believe and not okay for me to believe what I believe? Like, I'm not trying to tell you have to accept evolution is true, but you come in every day, and if I don't believe what you believe, somehow that's an insult to you? It's totally absurd. Anyways, I saw Issa for a moment. If you want to talk, you can. What's up? What's up, bro? What's up, bro? I'm not paying no bro jar either. So we're going to talk about the rapture. I got a video to go over. If anyone wants to comment or have any questions, please tag at Matters Now or send a super chat. Super chats will get priority. I forgot to mention that last stream. They think what they believe is true. That's fine. Most people, beliefs are things that they accept as true. So I would expect them to believe that it's true. Rational beliefs are justified in some way. Hopefully, it's not just purely based on faith. Hopefully, it has some type of justification. His beliefs were justified based on Bible prophecy. See, I don't think his foundations were very well justified. He's like, well, you believe evolution. Like, yeah, but like I have justification for it. Like science. Issa keeps coming and going though. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he comes in and sees me talking and then goes away again. Maybe they're waiting for me to come back from the bathroom because it took me like 5 minutes. Are you there? You want to talk?
Sure, I can. Give me 1 second. I'm just getting some food. I'm right here.
Okay. Issa had 2 heads. Yeah. So I'm going to wait for them to get here so I can play this video. I didn't put any breaks. I put a few pauses in the beginning, but I took out the do because I know people were annoyed with that. Another hour that I think people would like all unsubscribe from my YouTube channel after another hour of that. So I decided to take those out because, you know, yeah, I don't want to lose all my subscribers. How come my channel's being weird? Weird. All right. I won't wait too long. I want to entertain the audience. All right, we'll just do this.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay.
I am here. Sorry, just got some food. I'm ready to rock and roll.
It's not too critical, the opening. It's just, anyways. It's just going to be a guy making his claims from 7 years ago at first. Somebody's, it just came up in my feed, and I saw the beginning part of it, and it made me realize this might have been like the beginning of this claim from 2017. So let's get to it.
Hi, if you're seeing this video, you either are a crazy end times person or you know a crazy end times person. Somebody that's completely obsessed with the rapture and the end of days. And they've been telling you for years, the end's coming, you got to get ready, get right with God, know your place with Jesus. They care about you. People that love you in a godly way care about you, and we're trying to warn you. So
the only guy I know is him. This isn't the video I wanted either. Let me get the other video. Sorry, guys.
That was wild.
Yeah. I messed up. Stupid thing. Silly thing. Well, that was fine, I guess. I should just continue to play that. Yeah, it gets weird. Where's it at? Doomsday cults. I'm calling them Doomsday cults. I don't know why. It's probably mean, I guess. But I think
Hi, if you're seeing this video, you either are a crazy end times person or you know a crazy end times person.
Yeah, okay, there it is. These are the only people I know and the people that come to my chat. That's all I want to say. Do you know any of these people? And like that coworker?
Nope. I've never met that person.
Yeah. So my concern is people that are going to be caught up in these things and harmed by it. That's all. I believe their intentions are good because they believe heaven exists, and if they believe in God, they're going to go to heaven. Yes, but if they're wrong and people are harmed by their false beliefs, then their intentions don't matter. Oh, you fell for the 1988 one? I remember the 1988 one. My dad was convinced of it. I wasn't. That's the Nostradamus one.
Somebody that's completely obsessed with the rapture and the end of days. And they've been telling you for years, the end's coming, you got to get ready, get right with God, know your place with Jesus. They care about you. People that love you in a godly way care about you, and we're trying to warn you. So this message is coming to you as kind of a form of an apology. You know, we were overzealous, to say the least. The signs we saw made us think the end was right in front of us. Back in 2017, as a matter of fact.
But they were overzealous in 2017. Do they think they're going to be overzealous now, do you think, Issa?
Well, I've heard a lot of these Rapture things. I've seen every Left Behind movie.
Yeah.
The old 2000 ones. And I think there's a lot of overzealousness about this, you know. And every year they say, yes, this Rapture's coming, and it doesn't come. You know, I guess people want to be special, you know. So they even made video games on this kind of stuff. So it's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think they're going to take this with a grain of salt, though. Yeah, but they're going. We were overzealous back then. I'm sorry. Today we're not. Oh, it was Edgar Wesenat, 88 Reasons Why the Rapture Could Be in 1988 on Borrowed Time. I haven't heard about that one.
It's so silly to me.
You see,
Yeah.
what happened was there was a great sign in the sun, moon, and stars, as God said there would be. A great sign in the sun, moon, and stars. And if you remember,
When did God ever say there'd be a great sign in the sun, moon, and stars?
They interpret it from the text.
Like, that sounds like astrology. I thought astrology was like witchcraft. Hey, Christians.
Yeah.
Christians in the chat, isn't astrology considered witchcraft or something? New Age stuff?
I would say that's evangelical Christianity that might take that approach. I mean, it's hard because Christianity is definitely affected by Hellenism. You know what I mean? It's like Judaism mixed with Hellenism. So it would be hard to divorce them.
Yeah. Seems to be weird. It seems like a form of astrology they're trying to do. That was sort of my joke at the beginning. Hey, Tux, if you want to come on panel, you can. I'll post a link in the live chat. I forgot to do that. This is an open panel.
I thought you did. That's how I got here.
Oh, it might have been maybe, I don't know. I don't know who posted the link. I didn't. All right, let's continue.
remember back in 2017, in August, there was this great American eclipse that crossed over America only and went through 12 states, 7 cities named Salem, which comes from Jerusalem. And the first city, Salem, Washington, that had the eclipse went dark the exact same moment Jerusalem had sunset.
Yeah, I know. This is so weird. Like, they make this
sorry,
connection.
I got it from Max. You didn't put it. I got the link from Max.
Oh, okay.
I remember now. I was like, wait a second, did I get it? And I'm like, no, I got it from Max.
Oh, I thought astrology was not like approved by most Christians, but I know a lot of them do like tarot card readings and they go to like astrologists and stuff like that. What's that?
Yeah, I think they go to psychics. Christians do the
Yeah.
same stuff too. I think it just depends on the religiosity of the Christian, you know?
Yeah. Depends on the Christian. But now
Exactly.
he's like talking about only in America, only all these cities named Salem, and it doesn't cross over all these cities perfectly named Salem. And like it's Jerusalem, right? I don't know, why did we name these cities Salem and not Jerusalem? Why were U.S. cities named Salem and not Jerusalem? Like, why the difference? Does the name Salem... That the name Salem refers to Jerusalem is evidenced by Psalm 76:2, which uses Salem as a parallel to Zion, the citadel of Jerusalem. The same identification is made by Josephus and the Aramaic translations of the Bible. Was Salem, Massachusetts, named after Jerusalem? The Puritans wanted to build a utopian society and chose the name Salem after Jerusalem, meaning city of peace. Astrology is not approved by fundamental Christians, according to Stephanie. The town of Salem is in the Bible, separate from Jerusalem, possibly associated with Jerusalem. So there's two cities in the Bible. A city named Salem. Is Salem the same as Jerusalem in the Bible? Okay, so they might be the same city. They might be different city. I'm getting differences in my search. You love astrology and tarot now? I have tarot cards here. They're like they're like the Naked Heart Tarot. So they're like this. I don't know how to use them. Yeah. I'm from Oregon, so like I know where Salem, Oregon is. But it's also the US too. Why does it matter that it's going through the US? Like, wouldn't it be more significant if it was over Jerusalem than Salem? Yeah, Salem, Massachusetts was Puritan. But this eclipse didn't go over Salem, Massachusetts. So he shows the map of it. Like, it doesn't go over Salem, Massachusetts. Massachusetts is way up here. This went like this across, like my hands backwards. So if you go west, I probably like show a picture or something. I think he shows a map of it in here.
So
there it is. So if you look here, it went across like that across the country. The Salem. So Massachusetts is clear up there. Yeah, it's like it's astrology. It's not prophecy. It's not biblical. So not Book of Jonah either. It's like they're just making it up. And he does a picture of or one of the other guys did the picture of the whale thing. It's sort of funny.
there's so much about that eclipse that proved out to be a biblical sign, but then it was followed 33 days later by this great Revelation 12 sign, a Bible verse written right in the sky. Behold, the woman clothed with the sun, the moon under her feet. That was talking about Virgo.
Yeah, Virgo. Who's Virgo?
That's an astrological. That's an astrological.
Yeah.
It's who?
The constellation of Virgo.
It's a constellation. It's the astrological constellation.
Well, I know it's the astrological. I thought she was a god too, or goddess. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, it's the representation of the Virgin.
That's correct.
In which mythos? Any?
Greco-Roman.
Greco-Roman?
Yeah.
So they're stealing like other mythology.
Well, I mean, Christianity is very steeped in this Greco-Roman tradition. You know what I mean? It's like Judaism plus Greco-Roman tradition, you know? And some Mithraism, too.
And the whole the whole idea of the constellations do come from the Greeks, but they've been cemented all throughout. I think the Chinese have a different name for the constellations because they weren't in contact with the Greeks. But it has permeated every aspect of culture in the world, the zodiac signs and the constellation.
I love that Christ Bring the Sword completely reinforces what I just said. He's fusing the Greco-Roman tradition with the Jewish tradition, with the Hebraic tradition. And I don't even think he's realizing that these are distinct traditions that he's fusing together.
Yeah. So here it is. The constellation Virgo has many different origins depending on the mythos. Most myths view Virgo as a virgin maiden that carries her association with the weak. In Greek and Roman mythology, which predates Christianity, the constellation is related to Demeter, the Greek goddess of the harvest, or her daughter Persephone, queen of the underworld. Others associated with the myth of Parthenos, Persephone. No, that's Persephone in my language.
No, it's Persephone.
Persephone in my language.
Persephone. I love it.
Others associated with the myth of Parthenos, which explains. I read my whole life. I read Greek mythology when I was a kid, and I just read it how it sounded. So you can sue me. Which explains how the constellation Virgo came to be. In this legend, Parthenos is the daughter of Staphylos and Crithus. Anyways.
And we have Christ Bring the Sword. Welcome to the stage. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Doing well. How are you guys?
Really good.
Well, where's Virgos in the Jewish mythos?
Well, Virgo is in the stars.
I don't see any evidence of her being a constellation in Jewish mythos anywhere.
It's not.
Well, then why are they using it for as if it is and for their?
Well, look at Revelation 12.
Okay, what's Revelation 12 say?
Well, it'll explain to you why this is Israel or the Virgin.
Yes, we're dealing with Hellenized Jews that are influenced by Greco-Roman tradition. It makes sense.
So they stole a Greek constellation?
Well, for many years, nobody knew what Revelation 12 meant, but then we saw it happen on that date, September 23rd, what you're talking about. The great sign appeared in heaven. That says it right there. Go up.
How do you know this is Virgos? It doesn't say
Well,
it. You knew what?
Keep reading. A woman clothed with the sun. Okay, so that's Virgo. I can't read.
Wait, they knew what Virgos was, though. They knew what the constellation was when this was written.
Nobody did, I think. I don't think nobody knew what was going to happen.
No, but Paul knew what Virgos was.
Well, I'm just telling you what you're talking about. You were talking about the Revelation 12 sign. Here it is. You don't have to believe it.
No, but Paul knew what Virgos was.
Yeah, by the time Christianity came along, they were definitely aware of the constellation because that's how they kept track of the seasons.
Yeah, but the Jews, they never paid any attention to the stars.
But Paul
Yes,
should have
did.
known.
No, they don't.
Didn't Paul write this?
No, this is John.
Or John
the Revelator.
John
the Revelator is a Jew, by the way, just letting you know.
Yes, he is. They're all Jews except for Luke.
Okay, but he grew up in the Roman Empire, right? So John, and he was inspired by God, right? So they didn't know at the time they knew what Virgo was.
Well, he's not talking about Virgo. He's not talking about Virgo here. He's talking about a sign.
So how do you know it's Virgo?
Because that matches what he's talking about here. That's what got everybody's attention.
To me, it's a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head.
Yeah, that happened.
I've never seen a woman that had clothing with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head.
Well, that happened on September 23rd.
Let's look what
That was
Virgo
taken.
constellation looks like.
You had Virgo.
Virgo constellation. Looks like Pareidolia to me. So this is Virgo.
That's her.
That's a bunch of points in the sky.
Yeah, but it's a constellation.
That
Did you
doesn't
ever
look
take
like a
astronomy?
woman.
Did you ever
That
take
looks like
astronomy? Did you ever take
Yeah.
astronomy?
Yeah, that looks like a woman to you?
That is a woman.
That's
It's
not a
it's
woman.
Virgo. What do you think Virgo means?
In Greek mythology, it was like a Greek goddess.
It means virgin.
It was a Greek goddess that they thought was a
Virgo
virgin.
means virgin.
Yeah, in Greek mythology.
That's the virgin.
In Greek mythology.
Well, I'm not going to
Maybe
argue.
Minerva
It's just
or
a debate back and
Athena.
forth over, if you
Yeah,
want to
because
argue it's mythology or whatever. But there it is.
yeah,
You're looking
but
at
that is the actual concept of the constellations. They were attributed to some of their myths, like we mentioned Demeter or Persephone, which none of them were virgins. Just so you know.
Well, you have
Yeah.
Athena or Minerva, who might fit that bill.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't really. It's just a human attribution of what those stars, those groups of stars mean, and why we
Okay.
name the constellations like that. But there's no correlation with reality on that being a woman. It's just an arbitrary thing that humans do.
But
Yeah.
but you know,
Hello, Brenda.
it's
Welcome to the stage.
welcome. But they're stars, and there's a narrative attached to the stars, right? Because people sat around a campfire and told stories about the patterns of stars in the sky, right? And that was all it was. That's it. It's just people sitting around a campfire bullshitting. I mean, basically.
Having fun. They were having
Yeah.
fun. Good time.
There
Yeah,
was no TV.
I'm not denying the fact that you guys are reifying this as a woman, an actual woman that gave birth to a child after 9.5 months. Like that. So you actually believe that this woman gave birth after 9.5 months
Well,
in 2017.
you haven't looked at the details of it yet. You've already denied it without even looking at the details.
I've listened to the video where he claimed that she gave
So here's
birth
let
after
me
9.5
explain.
months.
Let me just explain it to you really quickly because I can do it pretty fast. You've got Virgo, and she's got 12 stars over her head. Normally she's got 9, but on this particular date, there's 3 planets that get in alignment, making it a total of 12. So she's got the 12 stars. That's only for this one moment. And then the sun at her shoulder. So this is during daytime. So the sun was at her shoulder. If you can find her shoulder, that's where the sun was. And at that same time, the moon was at her feet. So the moon was at her feet. Now you can't see this during the daytime, obviously, but you can see it in a computer simulation. Okay. So you got the sun at her shoulder, the moon at her feet, and she was giving birth. And at this particular time, you had Jupiter was in her womb between the legs, and it had been there for 9.5 months in a retrograde motion. So retrograde motion, it just goes around and around.
I
So
debate flat earthers. So
it passes into the womb of Virgo, and then it stays there for 9.5 months like a gestating child, and then it comes out through the legs of Virgo. And as it's coming out through the legs, behold, there is a red dragon in the picture there that you can't see because at this particular date, but there was some kind of a anomaly that looked like a face of a dragon at this particular. So the whole thing was fulfilled, and everybody's going, well, not everybody. A lot of people are saying, gee, that looks a lot like the Revelation 12 sign of the stars in her head and the sun on her shoulder, the moon at her feet, and she's giving birth, and there's a dragon. All that is being displayed in this particular event that took place on September 23rd.
did you prepare for it in 2017?
That's when I was an atheist.
Did
and
you
I
become
saw
a
this
Christian?
happen. I saw this
2017?
happen. I saw this happen, what we're talking about. And I said, that's a little bit too much coincidence for me. I got to investigate it further. And then that's how I got into the Bible.
What
you
what
know-
kind of atheist were you? Just curious.
I was an atheist, didn't believe in God one bit.
See, it wasn't that you just didn't live your life as God existed. You actually had an active belief that God did not exist, or you just lacked a belief in God.
I was a pretty active atheist from, I would say, the year 1998 to 2000. And
What does that mean? What does that mean, active atheist?
I mean, there was no way you were going to convince me that God existed
Okay.
during that time.
Do you know what post hoc reasoning is?
Sorry?
Do you know what post hoc reasoning is?
Paul's talk? I don't know.
Post hoc.
Post talk. No.
It's where you see something and then reach a conclusion based on what you.
Oh, post talk.
Right. So basically, literally this. It literally means after this. It means theorizing based on after the data. So you have the data, which is the constellation Virgo, and then you do post hoc reasoning. Well, because of Virgo, I'm going to make all these kinds of inferences. Right? That's post hoc reasoning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Don't do that, sir. Don't do that.
But don't
Yeah, so-
tell me what to do. Don't
Well-
tell me what to do. I'll do what I want.
well, she's just saying
You do you, I'll do me.
She's just
Fair enough.
explaining it's not the best pathway to truth.
I don't care. I don't listen to the atheist.
You don't care.
I don't
Okay.
listen to the atheist.
No, but listen to
You're
logic,
not my
though.
boss. Your logic is not my logic. Sorry.
Logic is logic.
Sorry, I'm not going to
Doesn't
listen to you. Just
matter.
keep your advice to yourself.
What's the laws of thought? Do you know? Like laws of thought are just laws of thought, regardless of your
Do
worldview.
you think that contradictions can be true?
You have to give me an example.
Can something be red and blue at the same time? Like all red and all blue at the same time?
I saw a briefcase recently that changed from red to blue.
Not the same time.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it was red or blue the whole time. I have no clue. I can't trust my eyes, and neither
Can
can
you have a married bachelor?
What?
Can you be a married bachelor?
I think you can if you're two people at the same time.
Okay, so you don't accept that.
Law of
I believe
identity.
in the Trinity. I believe that there's a Father,
but we're
Son, and
talking
Holy
about
Ghost.
human
So if you
people.
say, can God wear a hat and not wear a hat at the same time? Say, yeah, he can. You just
Wait, no. Hold on, Max. Wait. Do you think God is three physical beings?
Yeah.
You do?
So that's a heresy, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought that was heresy.
According to who?
Christian doctrine, usually.
Which Christian are you talking about?
For the last 2,000 years, at least. I mean, that's just, I don't remember what
There's
couple,
a lot of
300 years after.
You got to tell me which denominations you're talking about.
Almost every single one I've ever talked to say God is physical is usually heresy. So you think God could be killed?
Well, he was.
Oh, Jesus manifested himself as a human being. You think Jesus is still a human being?
Well, he died on the cross.
Yeah, and he returned. He's a spirit now,
died.
right?
Well, most Christians will appeal to Jesus Christ as a deity, and they'll say that his human part of him may have died on the cross, but the divine part did not.
Yes.
But you don't know anything about that.
You don't know what you're talking about.
You know what a deity is?
No, he doesn't.
What is what?
A deity.
A deity. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Yeah, you're making words up. I don't know.
No, we're not making them up.
A deity. Okay.
A deity.
You got to show me that in scripture.
It's Christian apologetics.
I've never heard of it. Sorry.
Aseity is from
I'm not a
what-
Catholic. I don't know where you're
He's
getting
not
your
Catholic.
from self
Catholic.
and plecity.
I don't
It's the
follow that
property
religion stuff.
by which a being exists of and from itself. That's what aseity is.
So the point of a lot of apologetics is that they make inferences based on texts in the Bible that basically they argue for have been arguing for a long time. So very much most of Christendom has argued that the concept of the Trinity is implied in the Bible. I would disagree with them because I don't think it makes any sense, but that's what they say. And they're making up a lot of other inferences based on that God. It doesn't actually say that God is. I'm not sure if it says he's omnipotent or omniscient. A lot of those properties are inferred from biblical texts.
All right, I'll be back
Anyway.
in 1 minute. I got to do something. I'll be back in 1 minute.
Okay. We'll get back to the video.
Oh, okay. You're reviewing the video? Sorry if I messed things up for you or anything.
No. Christ Brings His Sword came on stage, so he actually believes in the claim. So it's interesting to have him on stage too. I think we could argue for God better than, or Christianity better than Christ Brings a Sword.
I was
Yeah.
very impressed with Christ Brings a Sword. He's a master astrologist. He could open up a store and do astrology for people. He knew all the astrology stuff.
Isn't astrology expressly named as something that you should not do?
Well,
in the Bible,
it depends on how you interpret it. Of course, it is. But God, okay, you got to look at what God made the stars for signs. It says so in the Bible.
Oh, okay.
What can you tell me where it says that? Like God made the stars for signs?
It's like chapter 1, verse 14 or something. I don't know where it is exactly. Somewhere it's pretty close.
Stars for signs. That's not a book. Chapter 1, verse 14. That's nothing.
I don't know.
That would be Genesis.
Genesis 1:14.
Something.
God said, "Let there be lights in the vault of the skies to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times and days and years." But that's the mark sacred times.
Let me explain, because you asked a question. The reason why they're for signs is because before I guess what would be Moses. Before Moses, there was nothing written down. So God provided the stars for Adam and his predecessors or his ancestors to follow and learn from. And so there is biblical information in the stars. But once Moses had had his stuff. Yeah, descendants. Okay. So once Moses had the scripture, they stopped looking at the stars.
I think that the Hebrews had text before Moses, but even if they didn't, certainly there were other cultures that had text before Moses.
So the stars were useful to the Jews, I guess, or I'm sorry, they were useful
until to mark out the seasons, right?
As far as I understand it, the Jews don't really look at the stars. As far as I understand, I may be wrong, but I don't
they sure as heck would have during when their lives depended on it. When they're agricultural, they absolutely would have.
The Christians also don't look at the stars much. So
yeah, they do.
Stars, do they?
They've been astronomers all down through history. What do you mean?
Yeah, Copernicus.
I'm talking about the churches.
Galilee.
They don't look at the stars for inspiration.
The Catholic Church has a telescope. What are you talking about?
They don't look for the stars for inspiration. They just don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. For inspiration.
Right.
For divine revelation, you mean?
Like this, what we're talking about.
Are you looking to the stars for divine revelation?
I see it all the time.
That's not from God.
You don't know what you're talking about.
That's not from God.
If
it's not coming from God,
a liar. Don't tell me
then
that.
Who is it coming from?
Hey, it's in the sky. You can look at it and you can interpret it just as easily as I can.
I don't know. I think if it's not coming from God, it's got to come from somebody else.
You say it's not coming.
We know who that is.
Who else can do an eclipse besides
Brenda
God?
is a super Christian apologist now. She's a preacher girl.
Let me ask you this: Christ brings a sword. Since you're here, So I was going to watch this video by this guy, and the link for his video is in the description if you guys want to go check it out. But if the rapture doesn't happen on May 19th, will you give up on this concept of the rapture? I'm not saying give up on Christianity, but would you give up on the concept of the rapture? Because most Christians do not believe in a rapture.
I don't know when the rapture is going to happen, and I could be wrong that it's going to happen this time. I'm just looking at what's going on. I'm saying, hey, if I was a betting man, I would say this is a pretty prime time for a rapture to take place during the sign of Jonah, when there's this eclipse, and 40 days later there's Pentecost. I think Pentecost looks like a good day to rapture, but I don't
I'll
know.
take that bet.
It's just a
I'll
guess.
take that bet.
Let's see, how many Christians believe in a rapture? Christians believe in a rapture.
Well, don't there have to be a lot of conditions filled? And some of them say that Jesus has to come first, or does the rapture happen before or after Jesus returns?
It says worldwide, 90% of Christians reject the rapture. But that's
right.
Worldwide. 90% reject the rapture. But in the United States, it looks like 58% of, but because we have a lot more evangelicals in the United States than the world.
Well, not all evangelicals believe in the rapture.
Well, of course, not all. But so
very few.
Why is it necessary to believe in a rapture to be a Christian? Why can't you just live your life as if Jesus exists and God is true and still believe? Why do you have to believe a rapture?
You can believe whatever you want. I happen to believe in the rapture.
No, I'm just asking, why is it necessary for you to believe a rapture? I'm not asking you, can you still be a Christian and not believe in a rapture?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I disagree with most Christians on most things.
Do you think they're wrong to reject the rapture?
Well, I think they're going to miss out on what I call a reward or a crown.
Wait, so if they believe in Jesus and they believe in God and they follow the commandments and they don't defame the Holy Spirit or anything like that, they're not going to be raptured. So no. Why wouldn't they be raptured if they don't believe in a rapture?
I didn't say they wouldn't be raptured. I said they won't get rewards.
Why?
So you get raptured. Okay, that's the big prize. You're a winner. You got raptured. Great.
Why wouldn't they be raptured?
Now you get rewards on top of the rapture.
Why would you get? So will you lose rewards if you get the rapture date wrong?
Let's say that you're a Christian when you're a child, okay, and then you lose your faith when you're a teenager. You grow out of it. You stop believing. But God remembers you from when you were a child. So you get raptured anyways, even though you're an atheist today. The fact is that when you were a child, you were a true believer. You really knew God when you were a child. And now God remembers you no matter what happened to you since. He pulls you out. You get up there and God says, sorry, no rewards for you because you're an atheist. But all these other people who believed in me.
Well, you got raptured though.
They get rewards, whereas the person who was an atheist.
Oh, I'm going to be raptured. I am. I'm going to be raptured. Hallelujah.
Where is this reward system at? Where did you get that from?
The Bema seat.
The what?
The Bema seat. B-E-M-A. Bema.
B-E-M-A?
Bema seat.
Never heard of it.
M-A.
Bema seat. That's because you don't read the Bible.
Seat?
Well, no.
Where's that come from?
I forget
Bema
which
seat
chapter
of
it
Christ?
is. It's in Paul's writing. It's in his writing.
The Bema seat of Christ is where Jesus will give rewards to believers based on what they did to build his kingdom. Paul used the word Bema
there you go.
in his writings to give believers hope for the crowns of glory that will not fade when Christ comes for his bride.
Hold on, I'll be back in 1 minute.
5:4.
Be right back.
Let's look at 1 Peter 5:4. This sounds like this comes from a specific link, though. I'm not sure if this is biblical.
I'm just flabbergasted that I'm going to get raptured.
I know. It's awesome.
Yeah, the doctrine of once saved, always saved is a thing. I was never religious. I'm not even baptized, so I know I'm going straight.
I've always been atheist, so I guess whatever.
Well, if I deny the Holy Spirit right here and now, would that nullify it?
I don't know.
I'm back.
It just says here, when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the crown of glory that will never fade. It doesn't say that you will. Okay, I'll just read the whole chapter because this isn't making sense from any context. So where's the Bema seat in the actual Bible?
I forget.
It's not in the actual Bible.
Yeah, it is.
This is some type of apologetics, I think.
Is it in the book of Enoch?
No, it's not in the book of Enoch. It's in the Bible.
I
don't know if it's called the Bema seat.
Well, there's lots of different books and different Bibles. You know that, right?
Yeah, okay. We're talking about the King James Bible here.
Well, that's the worst one.
Judgment seat
Well,
of
that's your opinion.
Christ.
Doesn't matter.
Like, I see a bunch of shit talking about it, but it doesn't give an actual chapter and verse.
Well, I'm not going to learn you on this right now because I can't remember what book it's in. It might be in Timothy, or I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it was one of Paul's writings.
Can we get Howard to debate this guy? Maybe you want to debate Howard Stern?
I'm not prepared on this one. I don't know what chapter it's in. I'm just telling you what I know about it.
You though.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I'll tell you. So let's say that you're a Christian as a child. You lose your faith, right? But then you die, and then God brings you back, and He says you were a Christian at one time, but you didn't do anything with your life, so you get no rewards. Okay, so you just stand there. You just got your tunic on. That's it. Everybody else is getting a crown.
It's going to be kind of odd. Me standing there with everybody else. I'm an atheist, and I'm going to be with everybody else. That's kind of weird.
I'm not saying you were saved when you were a child. That's between you and God.
I was born again.
Well, I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe true.
Well, you have no say in it.
I'm not your judge. Exactly.
Yeah.
So God will decide whether or not He knows you.
And He already told me.
Well, okay, so whatever. So let's say
God told me. I know from God revealed to me that I was saved.
Whatever. So you're saved. You get there, but you're going to have no clothes. You're going to just have a tunic, and that's all you're going to have. And I'm going to be up there.
Okay.
And I'm going to have my crown and your crown, and I'm going to have other people's crowns, and I'm going to say, "Here, God, I have all these crowns. I'm going to throw them at your feet now."
Pride, is that a sin? Pride, is that a sin?
What the Bible says. I'm just telling you what the Bible says. You can call it pride. I'm proud of being a Christian.
I never seen that anywhere in the Bible where it says you get multiple crowns. Too bad.
You should read the Bible more. I'm not your learner. I'm not your teacher.
Trying to find it.
You're not your after-school feature.
Thank you, IC Spin, for $2. How is doing good? Well, he has a question, IC Spin. How is doing good to receive rewards biblical? That's always been anti-Jesus because Jesus.
Well, you just have all these assumptions. You don't know what you're talking about as usual.
I listen to Christian apologetics and arguments.
Saved by grace, not by works.
There's so many different flavors of Christianity. You can talk to one person, he says he's a Christian, and he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Are we saved by works, or are we saved by faith?
There's a difference between being saved by works and getting rewards for works. You get rewards for works. So when you do something for the Lord, okay, you do something for the Lord, like you take abuse at your job for being a Christian and they fire you, okay, God will reward you for that. He'll give you a crown.
Why would He reward you for that? Wouldn't He reward you for giving to the poor?
Because you took abuse in His name, and when you take abuse in His name, He rewards.
No, I don't think God cares about that. He cares about giving to the poor.
Hold on. God's speaking to me now.
Okay. I don't think that's God.
He says you're full of shit. Squinky Guy says Bema is used in the context of a legal judgment court is translated from the Greek word Bema. Thank you, Squeaky Eyes. I don't know. I'll look it up sometime. I got it pulled up and saved.
Yeah, well, we really digressed from what you were originally talking about, which is much more important than the Bema seat. which is
It's
the
the rapture.
sign that was taking place. Yeah, go back to what you're originally talking about. That's why I
Yeah,
You
keep
should have to talk about Left Behind. The Left Behind series is
that
amazing.
sign on September 23rd happened, and it was an impossible sign. And when I saw it, I said, "How can that possibly be?" Here we got the Bible
What was
talking about it, and now it's happening in the stars. And I'm like looking at the stars because back in those days, I was looking at UFOs. Okay, I was like a UFO researcher, you could call it. I knew
did
there
you
was,
find any?
yeah,
I've
Really?
done videos on that too. I don't
Yeah.
believe in UFOs.
I don't care if you
Anyway.
believe in them or not; they're there. I don't
How do you
have,
know it wasn't
I don't
just a
have to
satellite? Could
anymore.
have
I
been
don't have
just a
to
He
satellite.
thinks they're fallen angels. We need to do a debate on that.
I don't know
We
what
can
they
do a
are, but
debate on
they're up
that.
there. They're up there.
But let's
You're gonna see 'em.
continue with this video. Let's crunch everybody up to small.
Just remember,
And
your
add
opinion
these.
doesn't matter.
And
Yeah, it does. My opinion matters.
Doesn't matter one bit.
It says right here where your voice matters. This is
Yeah.
matters now.
Right.
Where your voice matters.
Yeah.
To get into heaven, Matthew 25, 31, 46. I think it says by grace and not by works. But thank you.
I never said you get in there by works. You get in there by faith alone.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Faith alone. Faith
But
alone.
he's saying you get crowns and rewards by works. Not
God puts a little smiley face on your report card if you do good work. So
yeah, you get crowns. You want
stickers.
to get
You get
crowns.
stickers.
I could tell you more about this
you get a
subject. Pretty
sticker.
interesting
You
subject.
get a
You
sticker.
don't have
and
patience.
you get a sticker.
Just go on.
I get stickers. I get a lot of them. I just heard. Hold
Too
on.
Too bad Dr. J is busy on Wednesdays because we could really use him today.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we're
Dr.
going to
J,
get through this whole video, but we'll try.
Dr. J, we miss you.
the planet Jupiter had moved into the womb of Virgo, where it bounced back and forth for 9.5 months. It was the perfect picture of a pregnancy and was delivered at the Feast of Trumpets, one of God's appointed times, in the which other planets moved in above her head, causing the normal crown of 9 stars to become a crown of 12 stars.
Yeah, so we already discussed this, so I don't think we need to do it again.
So the bouncing back and forth is
Very
retrograde
uncomfortable, I'm
motion. Is
sure,
that-
because it's an impossible situation. You can't possibly.
They're not
explain it.
impossible.
It was predicted in the Bible, and it happened, and you just want to ignore it.
It's predicted by cosmologists.
It's predicted in the Bible. You were reading it yourself, Revelation 12, and you're seeing it in the sky. The two match.
I did not read it in Revelations 12.
You didn't finish it. That's why.
No, it
You're
doesn't.
afraid of
say
it. You won't
that.
even read the Bible. You won't read Revelations. It's such a short book. Such a short chapter. You won't even read it.
We've all read the Bible.
I've read the New
You haven't
Testament.
read Revelation 12. I didn't see you guys read Revelation 12.
I've read the New Testament 5 times.
Well, why don't
I
you
know
read
what you're
Revelation
talking
12? Because we're talking about it right now. Why don't you pull it up? You're afraid. That's why.
No, we're not afraid.
You're afraid of the Bible. Come on, you won't read it.
We
won't
read,
read it.
all of us have read the Bible.
Well,
sir.
let's see you pull it up.
I
Pull up
will
Revelation 12.
read
Let's
it.
talk about it.
I will
read
read it. There's no big deal.
Acts. Sometimes, if I'm really cold, I'll hold the Bible between my hands and as a warmer, because it heats up when I touch it.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm reading the Bible right now. Like, this is a bookmarker.
Are you
I'm
going to
rereading it. This
Revelation
is not the
12,
first
or are you
time
going to tell
I've
me how
read
you
it.
read it?
I'm reading it right now. I'm just waiting for people.
Why don't you pull it up so we can see it?
This is the church. See, look, I got my emblem right here. I got my pastor pass. Where's my pass? I got my Universal Life Church Ministries thing right here.
I did a video on this. If you go to my channel, you can pull it up and watch it.
Thank you. A great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet and crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out in pain as she was about to give birth. And then another sign appeared in heaven, an enormous red dragon and 7 heads and 7 horns, 7 crowns on its heads. Its tail swept a third of the stars out of the sky and flung them to the earth. The dragon stood in front of the woman who was about to give birth, so that it might devour her child the moment he was born. She gave birth to a son, a male child, who will rule all the nations with an iron scepter. And her child was snatched up to God and to his throne.
That's the rapture right there.
The woman fled into the wilderness to a place prepared for her by God, where she might be taken care of for 1,260 days.
Those are the Jews when they flee the oncoming storm that will be here any
You're just
day now.
reifying what's plain English. Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the
UFO
dragon
invasion.
and his angels fought back.
UFO
But he
invasion.
was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. The great dragon was hurled down.
That's
The
right.
ancient serpent called the devil or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him.
There you
And I
go.
heard a loud voice in heaven say, "Now have come the salvation and the power and the kingdom of our Lord and the authority of his Messiah.
That's
For
it.
the accuser of our brothers and sisters,
Praise the Lord.
accuses them before God day and
Praise the
night,
Lord.
and then been hurled down. They triumphed over him because Christ bringeth the sword is full of shit. They triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. They did not love their lives so much as to shrink from death. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you who dwell in them.
Yes.
But woe to the earth and the sea,
Praise
because
the
the
Lord.
devil has gone down to you. He is filled with fury because he knows that his time is
He's
short.
coming for you. He's coming for you.
When the
It's not
dragon
coming.
saw that he had been
That's tearing
hurled
it
to the
apart.
earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the male child.
That's
The
Israel.
woman was given the 2 wings of a great eagle,
She'll get away.
so that she might fly to the place prepared for her in the wilderness,
And she's protected.
where she would be taken care of for a time.
That's right.
Oh, where
Bravo, bravo. Dramatic
Meanwhile-
reading.
Meanwhile,
Time
everyone
and a
else is
half
dying.
of time out
We'll all
of the
be
serpent's
eating the
reach.
bugs.
Then from its mouth the serpent spewed water like a river to overtake the woman and sweep her away from the torment. See those clouds? There, why have you to finish battles quickly and move on? Conflict breeds conflict. It's an insatiable fire. New souls will be born while there's conflict and energy.
Okay,
And
stop
I've
that.
never seen this place run out of either. They're like catnip for the puppets too. We should get out of here. I didn't expect such a big cloud to appear right out the entrance. And the two ran deeper into the stand. Powerful ripples erupted behind them. The ambushers had been forced to release skills. I'm reading another book. I'm sorry. I got
Take
sidetracked.
rest.
Carried away
Yeah.
with the spirit, with the Holy Spirit. Oz was overcome.
So there it was. You just read it, and it happened in the stars. The same
well-
story you
It
just read happened in the stars, but you
But
don't have
that's
to do
not
that.
what happened in the stars, though.
Okay,
Yeah,
that is- I don't care. I don't give a shit.
Who
what-
ate Jupiter? Jupiter's
What
still
it is.
there. Jupiter's still there.
It moved.
No one ate.
Yeah,
no, it
planets
moved in its
move.
normal orbit. It moved in its normal
It
orbit.
moved out of the constellation, and it then went over the constellation of Libra, which are the scales of justice, and it did that on the winter solstice of 2017. So now you've got the king planet, which is Jupiter, representing God, Jesus Christ, is over the scales of justice, which is judgment.
The god of Jupiter is Jesus.
Jupiter represents God.
Jupiter,
god?
the Roman god Jupiter is
It's the comparative mythology of Zeus.
yeah. So
You can believe whatever
Zeus-
you want. I'm just telling you what it means when you're looking at the stars. Jupiter is
So
the
you're
biggest planet.
stoic. You're stoic. So you don't. So it's you believe in an uncaring God. I'm just kidding, dude. But
I don't know what you're talking about.
you're mixing mythology. Just being clear.
I'm just looking at the stars.
Well,
You don't like it.
Jupiter
It's
is
really
still
upsetting for you to talk about things that you can prove. Because
Jupiter.
you can prove this stuff. You can look up in the sky and you can
But-
see it with your own eyes.
But you can't.
Somebody-
But you can't prove anything. You just have a story that you make up after looking at the stars.
What you think?
You need to let other people speak. You can't take
Jupiter
over
wasn't
the
Think
born.
whatever the hell you want. I don't care.
Jupiter existed. It was predicted the orbit it would appear in. Like we've known the orbit of Jupiter forever, or for thousands of
You
years.
make a lot of stuff up, man. You're just a liar.
You're saying we haven't known the orbit of
It's a
Jupiter
lie.
for thousands of years? How's that a lie?
Where do you get your information?
That we've known the orbit of Jupiter for
Where
thousands
did you
of
get?
years?
Did you pull that one out of your ass?
No.
Where did you get it from?
I debate flat earthers, so I have to know this shit.
Source it.
Well, Ptolemy, I'm sure Ptolemy and Tycho Brahe all knew about Jupiter, and people before them.
Tell me they've known the path of Jupiter, all the paths of Jupiter in the future and the past. That's what
Yes.
you're telling me? Oh,
Yes.
really? Okay.
Yes.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
We just didn't
No.
have an explanation for it until
Okay.
Newtonian gravity, and then
So they know all the motions of the planets before they ever.
Tycho Brahe would have known it from a geocentric perspective, not from a heliocentric, but
So
he
were
would
they predicting eclipses back then too?
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
When was that? Tell me. When was
not as good as we can.
When did they first predict an eclipse? I want to know that date.
The Soros cycle and the
When was the
Antikythera
first time
mechanism.
they predicted an eclipse? Was it
So I know
So when
that
you ask a question, let us answer. You can't
Well, don't
start
mute him.
speaking again when.
after
let's
World
not mute
War
him.
One? Because in World
Oh,
War
he
One
was
there was an
speaking
eclipse that
throughout the-
nobody predicted.
Hold on, Christ brings a sword. I'm going to share a book with you of one.
I don't want your book.
I'm going to share one of the first books that we have from a polymath from like the 5th century BCE from Aristophanes. Where's my Kindle?
I don't want to look at your nonsense.
This
Aristophanes.
thing that you're calling nonsense right now is what gave us the names of the constellations. The Greeks were the first ones, among the first ones to notice a lot of these things. The name planets
Pulling
come.
stuff out of your ass. You guys.
I'm sorry, but I was still in the
bullshit.
middle
I
of my
can't
sentence.
believe what I'm hearing.
I am
You actually
still in
believe
the,
this stuff?
I am
Is this
still
what
in
they're
the
teaching
middle
you
of
in
my
school?
sentence.
Okay.
Yeah, he
I am
understood
still in the middle of my
equinoxes and
sentence.
solstices. Here, let me share.
Yeah, and it's not just the Greeks, the Chinese astronomers and the Mayans and Aztecs, they all plotted, they all tracked the motions.
The Chinese, correct. It's the Chinese, exactly.
Yeah,
And
but the Chinese
Aztecs.
Why
constellations,
is it the Chinese?
the
That's
Chinese
another
constellations are all different. They have all different names. They have
the
different
Chinese
groupings
knew
of
the
stars.
constellations better than everybody.
This
They
is-
were sharp. The Chinese were sharp on this.
Well, yeah, they invented gunpowder.
This is Aristophanes' geography, where they were predicting equinoxes and solstices. He was in agreement with
I'm talking about eclipses.
Oh,
Yeah, they predicted those too.
They could not predict eclipses. Even in World War One, there was an eclipse right during a battle. Nobody knew it was coming.
The Mayan priestly
and you know what
caste.
happened? They stopped fighting.
Yeah, the Mayan priestly caste pretty much relied on predicting eclipses to rule over their, ignorant populace. I mean, that's how they ruled. A lot of people ruled that way. You could predict an eclipse, and then that impresses the people, and they think you have you can communicate with the gods.
There was one Greek philosopher or historian that did predict an eclipse. Nobody knows how he did it. And when it happened, there was a battle going on, and the battle came to a stop. And then the same thing happened in World War One. An eclipse came, but nobody predicted that eclipse. It just happened, and the fighting stopped. So eclipses have an effect on wars. It causes people to realize, you know what, God is up there watching. He wants us to stop. So people react to eclipse not like they used to. They used to react very horrified when they saw it as a bad omen. Today we look at it and we all want to look at it, so pretty, but it's telling us that America is doomed.
Actually, quite a lot of people thought that eclipse meant God was on their side and they should beat the other guy.
There's those beliefs too.
So it kind of depends, doesn't it?
Well, it depends on what your culture is. Yes,
Yeah, it depends on how you interpret it.
depends on your culture. Yes,
You can interpret it to mean God's want us to stop, or you can interpret it God's on my side and we should win.
you'd have to show me an example of that happening.
Well, you just gave one.
I gave one of them stopping.
Yeah, so
So
they've been
anyways-
predicting eclipses for thousands of years. So it depends on the
No,
culture.
no. They were not predicting them for thousands of years, because if they were
Yes.
predicting for thousands of years, they would have predicted the one in World War One.
So they don't always like report it to everybody, and it's not always
It can
wasn't-
happen,
So the way,
but now they
the-
can predict them because we have much more accurate models.
No, okay. So the
today
way
we
they
can predict them.
so the way they did it based on what happened in the past. So they weren't using modeling to predict it because we didn't understand gravity in the past. That was the problem with the past predictions. So they did it based on historical evidence, the way the sun and the moon orbited the earth. They could predict when an eclipse would happen here. Like I think like every 400 years, an eclipse is going to happen in the same location. I think it is. Isn't that right? The eclipse will happen in the same location every 400 years.
I don't know.
I think you're making that one up too.
think
We
I
might
read that.
make a mistake here and there, but we try not to just make things up.
Well, at least you admit you're wrong most of the time. I'll
No
accept
one
here and
said
there.
most
Here
of
and
the
there.
time.
Here and there is most of the time. Yeah.
No one said
Here and
that.
there.
No, you're just being
Here and
really disingenuous and rude.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
So okay. So there's a solar eclipse visible from any one place on Earth every 400 years.
The chat is asking what battle, and can we get some evidence for that eclipse during World War I claim?
I don't have the information on that. You have to look it up.
Okay, so we can claim dismissed.
Yeah, you can.
Well, Max, there was the Christmas miracle during World War One. I think it was World War One in the trenches, but
Yeah.
that was during Christmas Eve, and that had nothing to do with eclipses.
Island Wander or whatever, I guess.
I have no idea what the Christmas.
There's an
miracle is.
they stopped battle in the trenches in Europe. It was where was it? August 21st. There was a total solar eclipse in Eastern Europe that they stopped the battle during the eclipse. What did I say it was? Like
It happened right over the battlefield. That's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
But,
well, it just Belarus, I guess it was, or whatever. I'm sharing the screen, right? I think.
Yes, you are. I'll make it bigger.
Yeah. So I don't have any reason to deny a battle gets stopped for an eclipse because it's sort of like a surprising event. It gets dark out at night.
Now we have an eclipse on April 8th, and what we're looking at now is on Passover, I believe. I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard this, that on Passover, Israel is planning to sacrifice a red heifer, which is required to sanctify the land for the third temple. So if that happens, that will definitely bring Armageddon or World War III.
It doesn't say.
What
I don't know if it
happens if
says
you're
that it
wrong?
wasn't unpredicted.
If I'm wrong, I'll just wait.
And how many times do you have to get it wrong until you give up?
Until Jesus comes.
He won't come.
Well,
we've been
that's what you
waiting for
say.
1,000
I don't
years.
listen to you. I don't listen to you.
What if you die and he never comes?
Then I'll see him after I'm dead.
Okay, with no extra crowns.
There's no winning with you. There's no.
There's no winning with me, that's for sure.
Yeah, but that makes your position unfalsifiable.
eternal.
So that means we
Well,
can just discard it.
let's watch this
Eternal, you're
video.
not.
All right, yeah, let's go.
Well, wait, we're all eternal according
No,
to
you're not.
Christianity,
No,
right?
you're
Or
not
you believe
eternal.
in extinguishment?
Well, I think that once you're born the second time, you have either you're going to be eternal or not.
You believe in extinguishment then?
Well, yeah, I think that at least you're going to be thrown in a place you don't want to be.
So we're eternal or we're not?
You're not eternal as far as I'm concerned. I think that after God judges you, that eventually you will perish.
Okay, so you believe in extinguishment.
That's what I just said.
No, you said you believed in punishment, like you're all over the place.
Well, I have ideas on this. Like, for example, let's say that you're a king, right? A big king, and you lived great. Then God is going to create you like you were in life. He's going to make you a statue, a bronze statue. Okay. And now he's going to throw you in the fire as a bronze statue. Well, you're never going to burn. You're going to burn forever as a bronze statue. That's just my belief.
Something happens to bronze.
And if you're just a regular person, you'd be like a paper mache doll. You just go in there, you're gone quickly. You know, so that's just that's just a dream I have. I'm not saying it's scriptural.
I think the other word is making shit up. I think that's what that's called. Yeah.
But if you're asking me a question of what's going to happen to you, I think that some people are going to suffer more than others, and I'm thinking, well, how is that going to happen?
But that's just you thinking.
Different material.
Yeah, that's just you thinking, making shit up. Why should it?
That's right. That's what it is. Just like when you talk, you open your mouth and shit comes out.
Because when I asked like legitimate Christian theologians, like the experts in the field, like they don't know. They usually say they don't know.
I'm just giving you my opinion, man. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm not a scientist. I'm not here to tell you what to think.
Well,
you think whatever you want.
Theologians are
I'm here to warn you about April 8th. I've done my job. I'm just here to have a good time now. I don't care.
Theologians aren't scientists either, but let's watch the rest of the video if we can.
Not claiming to be anything.
Okay.
I don't know what you
Once in a lifetime event. A Bible verse written verbatim in the sky. We followed the next couple of verses and it said the child was birthed and then caught up to God. We thought that's the rapture.
So he was wrong, wasn't he?
Yeah.
No, that was a sign of Jonah.
Well, he thought it was the rapture, but he was wrong, wasn't he?
It was the sign of Jonah.
But he was wrong then, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. A lot of people were.
Okay, thank you.
There's a lot of people who were wrong.
I mean, you can at least admit he was wrong.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people thought that was the rapture. I was there.
Okay. And you were a Christian? You were an atheist then?
I was an atheist turning into a Christian. I thought I was going to get in just before the rapture. I saw this whole thing going down, what you're watching right now. When that was in real time, I was there. I was like, whoa, that's too much coincidence for me. I'm getting on board the Christian gravy train.
So is the only reason you became a Christian you're afraid of going to hell?
I thought that sign was impossible. I couldn't understand it except using the Bible. And that spoke to me. I said, hey, that's enough for me. I'm convinced.
Seems like pareidolia to me.
Yeah.
How afraid do you think I am of going to hell?
I don't care.
No, but how afraid do you think I am?
I don't think you're afraid at all.
Yeah.
Oh, so what?
That's what an atheist is like, dude. You were never an atheist.
Brenda, lower your mic a little bit, the volume, please.
I'll fix your thing. Unmute
you
yourself.
Know a lot about me.
I'm going to unmute yourself, Brenda, so I can fix your volume.
I lowered it a little bit.
Oh, perfect. Thanks.
I'm just going to reduce your background noise too.
Yeah, I switched from mobile to PC.
Yeah. But now it's perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm not afraid of heaven or hell or anything like that.
I'm actually more afraid of heaven than I am of hell.
I'm not afraid. I would love to go to heaven, but I don't believe it's a real place.
The idea of heaven sounds so boring. So boring. I am extremely afraid of eternal boredom, more so than I am of eternal torture.
What I've heard of heaven, I don't believe it would be boring. So
you want my interpretation of heaven? I'll just give it to you quickly. What it's going to be like?
Sure.
Okay.
Eternal exploration.
It says in the Bible, it says, in my Father's house are many mansions. And I consider God's house the universe. So in his house are many mansions. And I consider what's a mansion in the universe. I call that a spiral armed galaxy. A spiral armed galaxy, there are 85 billion plus spiral armed galaxies in the universe. So I figure that God can afford to give his adopted son just one. That's all I ask, just one, and a star cruiser to go along with it so I can tour. That's my idea of heaven.
That's so wishy-washy and has nothing biblical about it. Can we
Where,
go on to
where
the
is
video, please?
where in the Bible does it say it will be eternal boredom?
No, but the thing is, my
Because I don't think you're steel manning the Christian view.
No, it's my interpretation of what the Bible says heaven would be.
But
And
so
I've
you're
never.
doing, but just to be clear, you're doing an external critique. So that's to me
No, yeah,
like
I
straw
have.
manning. To me,
No,
that's
I
straw
have.
manning the Christian view.
I read the Bible and I have my interpretation of what heaven is. And when I
Okay.
talk to people about what their presentation of heaven, it always ends up being eternal boredom. I've never had to ask more than 3 questions to get something that I would like to do in heaven that people would say you wouldn't be able to do that in heaven.
What about what he just said? There's a Christian that gave his opinion.
I don't think like other Christians though.
But he just gave his opinion. He just dismissed it as if he's just making stuff up.
Well, yeah.
I'm in a very small minority of Christians.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Very
He gave
small.
his view. So you're saying his version of heaven is you wouldn't want that version?
I go with scripture. I start off with in my
He would
father's
have
house
a
are many
galaxy,
mansions.
but I couldn't. We can't ask the questions because we would get demonetized if I ask the questions that I ask on this.
But like
particular
Mormons believe you get your own world. So like I don't.
Well, there's a star called Betelgeuse, right? This, Betelgeuse. It's called
Betelgeuse.
Betelgeuse, right? So Betel means a house of God, right? El is God, and Betelgeuse. So that's house of God. So I look at Betelgeuse as being that's where God lives, right? So God lives up there in Betelgeuse. It's just my imagination going on here because he's got. If you look at my the picture I've got there, it's Orion, the star, the constellation Orion.
Picture's Rodney Piper, like.
Yeah, here it is, but in YouTube. It shows the Orion.
How are we supposed to see that?
It doesn't matter. So Orion is in the belt of Orion is Betelgeuse. Okay, so I see that as being the house of God, and if that's the house of God, then I got to think, well, what's a mansion to God? It's got to be a spiral arm galaxy because I found out that there are 85 billion spiral arm galaxies. Right, so I think, well, those are all mansions. So it says, "In my father's house are many mansions."
Just
so,
you already said all this. You already said all this.
I'll get a mansion.
So my God is bigger than my God is bigger than your God. My God, I noticed that there are 10 to the 500th universes in the multiverse. My God is bigger than your God. He's going to give me an entire universe. Yeah. So there. Huh? Yeah, take that.
God has multiple cosmoses.
I'm going to
get my own cosmos.
I'm not a greedy old woman who's just burnt out on life. I want.
Hey, you know what? Hey, Christ brings the sword.
Stop with the insults.
Yeah, don't insult Brent. Anyways, Christ brings the sword. Guess what? I fought Rodney Piper.
Okay.
Yeah, in a LARPing event.
He's a character. He's just a character in a movie.
Yeah. No, he was a WWE wrestler. He was
yes,
real.
he was. I understand that, but in my picture, he's a character in a movie.
Well, he was a character in this freaking ring too.
I didn't follow him in his wrestling.
Rodney is the actor, dummy.
Yeah.
The person you're talking about, the picture in there, that's the character in the movie.
Oh shit! Really? Oh god! Thanks for enlightening me.
Are you going to watch? Are you going to watch Beetlejuice too?
And it's Betelgeuse. It's not Beetlejuice.
It's called Beetlejuice. You freaking foreigners, get it right. Beetlejuice. Okay, let's watch the movie.
You have to say it 3 times. You have to say it 3 times, then you can summon him.
Okay, because I want to go watch. I want to see if I can go watch. I might have to leave because I want to go watch Dune 2 so I can do my show tomorrow.
All right.
Dune.
And we have another show coming right up. So
let's
get this on the way.
AMC. Yeah. Okay. So let's watch this. We're not going to make it through the whole thing. That's okay. Not.
Well, here we are 7 years later. We're still talking about the rapture. And we really were overzealous in our thoughts. We can show you where God promises he will not bring judgment ever without setting up watchmen that he will tell his servants to warn the world. So, in a
Hey, where's the did he show the Bible quotes for the Watchmen thing?
Yeah, they came on kind of fast. If you go back and we pause, we might be able to read them.
You know, I'm looking at
later,
that.
we're still talking about the rapture.
What?
You can go ahead and play them. I just had a.
Yeah, go ahead, Brenda. What?
You look at his background there,
I know,
and that's like what you tell the psychiatrist when you're being diagnosed. I mean, you know, it's like in the DSM, that shit.
Yeah, I get a Beautiful Mind vibes.
yeah, I love that movie so much.
Yeah, that's so good.
I have so many family members that were schizophrenic, but I don't think that this guy's schizophrenic. He doesn't give me those vibes.
No, just the board. I mean, not the
board
guy.
makes him look that way. He looks like a conspiracy theorist.
Or you're not studying the board. You're just looking at it and you're going, oh, it's too much for me. I can't figure it out. I'm going to make fun of something I don't understand.
I specifically said he doesn't give me the vibe of a conspiracy theorist. Did I not? Christ brings a sword.
And
I
clarified
background is what I'm talking about. The background is important. You're not paying it. You want to make fun of the background like it's just childish. It's not childish at all. That's very important stuff.
No, to him, it's his chart, is his timeline.
Yeah, it is. It's a good timeline too. I'm looking at it. I can see it.
No, I know. I know schizophrenic.
He knows what he's talking about. This guy knows what he's talking about, by the way.
I have many family members.
You may not like his personality. You may not like his hair. I kind of like his hair.
I never. Who said they didn't like his personality?
Well, I'm just saying that you may not like the way his style, but what he's saying is correct. I agree with what this guy is saying.
Who said they didn't like his style?
I don't know. You guys seem to don't like what he's saying. You're making
Who
fun
said
of
they
him.
didn't like what who's making fun of him?
I'm listening to you guys.
I didn't make. I specifically
fine.
said.
Whatever, man. Whatever. Keep going.
I specifically said he doesn't look schizophrenic.
You just like to argue, man. That's just sad.
No, I was defending.
You argue about anything.
No, I was actually defending him from them saying he doesn't give me any of those vibes. This looks like a board he's put up for his timeline. I was trying to explain that before you interrupted me because I know schizophrenic people. This guy does not look schizophrenic to me. No, well, I understand from the movie, like
he's a little bit effusive, a little bit too energetic for my taste. But you know, hey, he's got the Holy Spirit in him, and he's excited.
Well, it's a YouTube video. You're supposed to do that. Like I know. Yeah, like when I do YouTube videos, you got to do energy.
He's doing a better job than I can.
I see spin. What makes this prediction?
Go ahead. What's the story?
Yeah. What makes this prediction special among the others? Because it comes from the Bible. But I think that's for Christ brings a sword. If you want to answer that.
Well, you can decide for yourself what's true and what's not. But if you're looking for answers, you can see the world is in chaos. And here's an answer for you to consider, that the Lord is coming to judge the world. And you want to get on the right side of God. Otherwise, he's going to judge you and you will not partake in eternal life.
Thank you. Anyways, I wanted to talk about the Isaiah 62:6 in context. No longer will they call you deserted. This is for our name, or name your land desolate, but you will be called Hephzibah, and your land Beulah, for the Lord will take delight in you, and your land will be married. As a young man marries a young woman, so will your builder marry you. As a bridegroom rejoices over his bride, so will your God rejoice over you. I have posted watchmen on your walls, Jerusalem. They will never be silent day or night. You who call on the Lord, give yourselves no rest, and give him no rest till he establishes Jerusalem and make her the praise of the earth. The Lord is sworn by his right hand, by his mighty arm. Never again will I give your grain as food for your enemies, and never again will foreigners drink the new wine for which you have 12? This doesn't sound like what he's making a claim about.
Never again. Never again.
No.
Alan reads, Jesus is coming and all the non-believers on here will eat their words. You make jokes now, but soon you will know the truth. Thank you for that message.
Amen.
Thank you, Alan. You
Right,
could have
so
super chatted it, and
You can come on stage, Alan, if you want. The link is pinned to the top of the side chat.
So
Well,
I was in high school in 1975, and all the kids around me were saying the same shit. They're saying, the end times are coming. The evangelicals were making all these predictions. God is coming any day now. Just look at the world. Just look at it. There's all kinds of chaos. There's shit happening in Israel, right? Obviously, God is coming soon, right? That was 1975. He ain't coming back, dude.
Yeah, this is happened. This is Book of Isaiah is prophecy that already happened. So I don't get this. Like, what's this trying to say? So this isn't like future prophecy, right? This is prophecy that's already happened. It seems like he's reifying the text. Like he's like,
well, basically the way these people, evangelicals and others people treat the Bible is one big Rolodex containing a bunch of quotes, and then you just look through it and you find a quote that you like and that lines up with what you want to be. Like he said, like Bring a Sword said, he just makes it up. You make it up. You make it up. You go into the Rolodex and you find a quote that agrees with what you want it to mean. That isn't scholarship. That isn't science. It isn't even biblical scholarship. There's no biblical scholars. Even I've certainly known many theologians, and they would laugh at you. It's not scholarship, huh?
I don't care what you think.
Well, you know what's wonderful is I'm finding a lot of allies within the Christian community to speak out against these doomsday rapture cults that are trying to appeal to young people to get money from them. Like, God, a minute? Oh my goodness, the guy's asking teenagers to donate money.
I don't want your money. I want rewards.
He's asking for people to donate money, and are you going to speak out against God a minute? Asking teenagers to donate money and to join his cause.
I don't ask anybody for money.
Are you going to ask him? Are you going to rebuke him as a Christian, saying that their lives on earth are going to be over in?
Do you take money on your ministry?
Absolutely, I do, but I don't see.
There you go. You're a ministry. You're a ministry.
I am a minister.
Yeah, you are. You're a ministry.
We provide entertainment.
You're a
and
ministry.
people, and we don't demand money from anyone. People
Neither
just
do they. Nobody
they
demands
are
money when you go to church.
No. This guy is different.
I don't
He gets
ask
money voluntarily.
teenagers to send me money to join my ministry and tell them that Rapture's coming May 19th.
I don't care.
So on the May 20th,
I know you don't.
Christ brings the
I'm not
sword.
your judge.
On May 20th,
Ask money. You can ask for money. I don't care.
hey, dude, on May 20th, when this doesn't happen, what does the Bible say should happen to false prophets?
You're talking about the Old Testament. I'm in the New Testament.
I'm talking about the Bible.
I'm talking about the Old. I'm talking about the New Testament. You're talking about the Old
What
Testament.
book is the Book of Jonah from?
Old
What
Testament.
book? Old Testament. So why are
That's
you
right.
appealing to the Old Testament?
Because it's for the Jews.
So why are you using it then?
It's for the Jews. I know
Why
that
are you
the
using it?
rapture is coming just before the time of the Jews. So when the clock starts up for the Jews, I'm out of here.
So the Old Testament's good enough to use when you're making predictions about the future, but you don't want to use it when it goes against you. Only when it works in your favor. Look at that. Like, talk about double standards, right?
Well, didn't Jesus say that not one jot, not one tittle will be removed?
He did.
Right? Yeah, it's not. You can't just dismiss the Old Testament.
I did. When did I dismiss it? I said I'm in the New Testament.
Yeah,
and
that's
ISIS
dismissing.
being,
Old Testament.
ISIS
I'm not a
being brings,
Jew. I am not a Jew.
ISIS being brought something up previously that says that also in the Bible says that no man knows the day of judgment or the rapture.
I never gave you
And
a day.
Oz has brought it up that it will come like a thief in the night is the
I never
quote.
gave. I'd like to talk about that. The thief in the night. But yeah, we don't know the day, and I never gave you a day. I gave
Yes,
you a
you
date
did.
range. I
Yes,
gave
you
you a
did.
date
You
range.
said 40 days
I
after
gave you
the
a date
eclipse.
range. You just assume a lot. I gave
No,
you a date
you
range.
said
I
Well,
said
we're
April
going-
8th. I said in that window between April 8th and even then, if it doesn't happen, I don't care. It's going to happen eventually.
Can you tell me what part of the Bible Jesus wrote?
Jesus was a prophet, and he came into the earth, and he walked as God and died on the cross, and his apostles and others wrote about him.
His apostles wrote about him? Which
Well,
apostles?
whoever,
They
you know,
didn't
you're
write it.
asking me
They
all
didn't
these
write it.
questions. I
Mark
don't
didn't
know.
write.
I don't
Mark didn't
know.
write the
Look,
book
you
of
want
Mark.
to get me on this? Fine. I don't have all the answers to your question.
I
Who
You don't
wrote
have
the
any
Bible?
answers though. But you
It's
don't
been-
seem to give any answers.
You became a Christian 7
Your
years
opinion does not
ago.
matter to
You
me,
became
woman.
a Christian 7 years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, let's listen to more of this because I'm going to have to watch the movie at noon tomorrow.
Damn.
But let's continue with this.
Up,
Oh, I have a doctor's appointment at 8:32. Shoot.
watchmen,
Oh,
that
go to
he
the
will
other one.
tell his servants to warn the world. So, in the grand scheme of 6,000 years, I don't believe a 7-year warning period is inappropriate.
But he didn't. He says that now. So.
Yeah, I disagree with him a little bit because I see this whole thing from 2017 to the present day as one big sign of Jonah. The whole thing is a sign of Jonah, not just what we've got coming, but from August of 2017 to the present day has been the sign of Jonah. That's my belief because we had the hurricanes at the very beginning in August of 2017. We had Hurricane
Right.
Harvey and
We've
Irma.
never had hurricanes
and
before.
we had all these hurricanes that all occurred right after the
Yeah.
eclipse.
We never had hurricanes before. Wow.
But rather very appropriate. And if we look at the timing of that first sign that launched this community, which is now worldwide, millions of people are watching for the end times, and there are hundreds of online YouTube channels and TikTok and websites, authors, scholars that go around the world speaking that are all in agreement. The end is very near.
Who are these scholars? Who are the scholars?
There's
this
a lot
is
of people. A lot of people.
There's
But
a
who are the-
reason they're not named.
Yeah, like there's no scholars. There's
You're
no.
not. You don't
biblical
know what you're
scholars.
talking about. There are a lot of scholars.
Can you name one?
Name one.
Well, you wouldn't
Jinx, buy
recognize
me a Coke.
Just
wouldn't
name the
recognize.
scholar and I'll look him up.
Andy Woods,
Andy Woods.
Robert Breaker.
Andy Woods, Robert Breaker. And they're scholars.
Well, what's a scholar to you?
Somebody who's educated in theology.
So
That's
not
right.
scholars.
That's
So
what
not
these
scholars, Ozzy.
It's
They're
whatever
guys
you-
with YouTube. They're
You
guys
know,
with
if
the
you don't
YouTube
think
channel.
that a preacher is a scholar, then they're not scholars because they're preachers. Okay, they're people who study the Bible. They have a degree from a university in theology. Those are the scholars I refer to.
If they have PhDs in theology, I would say they're scholars. Are they published?
Yeah, Dr. J, our very good friend, is a scholar. He's a PhD
If they're
in
published
theology.
You know,
and
whatever.
cited,
It's up. If you don't want to listen to what I consider to be a scholar, then go find your own scholars. Because these
No,
are my scholars.
I would say
These are people I
William
listen
Lane
to.
Craig. I
The
would say
scholars to me are the people I listen to because
Oh
I want
my-
to listen to people who know what they're
Oh
talking
my
about.
goodness, dude! I would say William Lane Craig just
Never heard of
him.
Never heard of them.
You never heard of
No.
William Lane Craig?
No, I never heard of them.
You should check him out because
I
he's
don't have
actually
to check anybody out that you suggest. You can just shut up.
knock it off, asshole.
Let,
Dude,
let,
you-
let
Shut up,
everyone,
woman.
let's tone it
She's
down.
trying to help you. William
I don't
Lane
want her
Craig.
help.
Who do you think William Lane
fuck
Craig
off.
is?
You fuck off.
William Lane Craig is. I actually respect, well, to a certain extent, William Lane Craig when he speaks on certain matters, is a very good source. I disagree with him obviously because of his positions on certain things, but other than that, he's not a slouch. He's not a nobody. He knows what he's talking about. And you're just kind of an asshole.
And he's a Christian.
Thank you.
So he's a Christian, so we should just dismiss him and ignore him, right?
Who are you talking to?
You, William Lane Craig's a freaking
I don't know this
Christian
guy. You're
scholar.
asking me to talk about somebody I don't know anything about. I don't like to talk
You
about things I
said
don't know about.
you said you will
I don't know
ignore
that
him
guy.
just because I'm talking about a Christian.
I don't know this guy.
So you know what a genetic fallacy is?
A what?
Yeah, that's what I thought. The
I
show's
can't
over.
understand. Whatever.
It's
man.
a genetic fallacy. Look it up. The show's over anyways, so we didn't get through the video because we got a new show starting in 20 minutes. So
No, sorry
we're
if I
gonna
messed
take-
anything up.
No, no, you're good.
No,
Brenda.
you're fine, Brenda.
We had a better show with Christ Brings Us Sword. I appreciate you, Christ Brings Us Sword. I think we had a lively discussion. Look up genetic fallacy. Look up William Lane Craig, dude. That's no one's trying to deceive you when we try to say look up William Lane Craig. And I googled Andy Woods and Robert Breaker to look him up because guess what, dude? I'm an honest interlocutor no matter what you think. Gosh dang. I don't know what type of atheist you were, but obviously
He
not
was
a
no
very
atheist.
honest one.
He was just a punk
Shut up,
ass
woman.
kid.
You don't know what you're talking about.
You were just a punk
You're
ass.
just-
Hey, whoa,
That's all you
hold
get
on,
is
hold on,
talk
hold
out of
on,
your
hold on,
ass
hold
all
on,
the
hold
time.
on,
That's
Brenda.
all you can do.
Give me just a second.
No, let's
Okay.
we
This is
don't
why I
like
came
it
on
up
stage.
here.
Okay.
And
He has
let's,
a JD.
I muted
Andy,
them both.
wait, Andy Woods has a PhD and a JD. He has a theology, a THM, JD, and a PhD. The guy's like a JD. That's a law degree, a doctor of jurisprudence, and a PhD. So I would be interested to find out what he says about this rapture shit. And Robert Breaker.
It's a load of baloney. That's what it.
Hey,
That's
Rodney.
likely what he says about it.
I bet you.
Yeah, I noticed y'all had a very rude, pretentious person on, so I figured I'd match that energy by
No,
coming
we
on.
try to bring things down here, especially on stage.
You came,
It's like
you came at the
this
end.
is not.
Well, I mean, I guess I'd be a. I guess I'd be like the opposing energy. I'd be the troll, I guess, in this situation.
So Andy Woods on. I just want to see what he says about this.
Seabass, you sound very angry about something, man.
I don't care what you think.
Andy.
I didn't say I think that. I just said you sound that way. That's
Well, that's your
the way you
opinion.
sound.
That's
It
your
is my opinion.
Eclipse.
Care to correct me if I'm wrong?
I'm not here
We're
to
looking like
entertain
we're going to
and
have
make you
to
happy.
schedule another one of these so we can get through the video. But Christ Brings Us Sword, as Oz said, thank you for coming on stage. And
You're welcome.
you were actually the originator of us looking into this.
Of course I am.
So we want to thank you for that.
I take all the
also.
credit.
He's narcissistic too. Look at that.
I take all the
Yeah.
credit.
Yeah, and try not to
I give it to
interrupt
the
me.
Lord. I take all the
Try-
credit and I give it to the Lord.
Try
There we
not to
go.
interrupt me when
Praise the
I'm
Lord.
speaking. So we are just a few minutes away, and we're going to do a drastic change of pace. On the Tell Me That Story show, we're going to talk about curiosities of the Norse myths. So stick around. Today we brought a bunch of content for you, and we're really glad that you're here joining us. Stick around at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Tell Me That Story show.
I love
I
Norse
think
mythology.
it's going to be Isa and me. I told you don't interrupt me while I'm speaking.
I'm sorry. I thought you'd paused.
No, I'm sorry. I thought it was Christ brings us home.
It's my fault. It's my
It
fault.
wasn't me
I'm
this time. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I apologize. And it's going to be fun. I have some curious stuff to bring to you. All right. Anything else before we wrap this one up? Any final thoughts?
No, I just tomorrow we got a couple shows with and Christ Brings Sword. If you're still in the live chat, can you post a video with one of those people, Andy Woods or Robert Breaker? I'd appreciate it. Where they're talking about the Book of Jonah prophecies. I'm trying to find something. I can't find it. I appreciate it. You've already left, but anyways. And don't forget, tomorrow I'm going to do another Level With Me video, and then we're going to do one about the Dune books, the Antichrist stuff. And then on Friday, we're going to do the final Level With Me video, and then we're going to do one on Hannah Baron.
Baron, yeah.
Baron. I don't know.
And if there's any debates in the meantime scheduled on Modern Day Debate, you'll also see the pre-shows and after-shows. So stick around. We have a bunch of stuff, and we're working to give you as much content as we can.
Thank you, everybody.
Take care. I'll see you.
We'll be back in 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, short break, and we'll be right back.
Want me to close it out?
Yeah, sorry. I thought
I'll close it out.